morning. Good morning. That was just so I figured we'd have just a little bit of a chat um before I go live to do readings because I'm live right now. Um yeah, there's just been a lot of weird, weird stuff going on. As some of you, many of you know, I was in California recently, um, right by the state capitol building. Right by the state capitol building, and it was insane. Was insane. Um, I've been kind of like contemplating a few things that I was already kind of wondering when I was going through stuff. Um, so I arrived in California earlier last week. I don't watch any current events. I don't keep track of any political stuff. I just kind of like to not be a part of any of I believe it's bullshit. Um, I just believe all of that is bullshit personally. And so I try and steer clear of it because all it does is make me feel very upset, very annoyed with pretty much everyone else. And it doesn't serve me in any way at all. So I don't follow it. But when I was in California, I did notice a few things. Not political things, but I think it ties into political things. I really do. So, what I noticed starting when I landed on Wednesday, I was very confused. uh, I don't usually operate in a state of confusion. I usually like, I will pause, I will assess. If I have to reassess, I will, but I will gain understanding for what's in front of me, how to proceed in the most efficient manner. That's just how my brain functions. It's always functioned like that. I follow so many different strings like that instantly to see the different potentialities of different decisions that I make. So I get to California last Wednesday and I'm confused. Like, what? Perpetual state of confusion. I have my GPS on, and I'm usually very, very good at following what the GPS says, when to turn, what lane to be in when I turn. Oh, no. The entire time I was in California, I consistently kept getting lost, even with GPS speaking to me clearly. In addition to that, um, I don't know if you guys remember, I had mentioned in a recent live stream that, I realized I had slipped back into this state of basically being sorry for existing, feeling somewhat, I don't know, like ashamed or guilty for my level of awareness. Like, what the hell was that about? Right. So, a few things that happened um, when I was called by the front desk and told by them that um, they wouldn't allow us to extend the reservation that apparently was already up. Um, Usually I'd be like, no, I don't think so. You cannot endanger his health. You're going to have to allow us to stay one more night or, whatever it is. But I wouldn't just be like, oh, oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe I didn't know that. It was just weird. It was out of character. It was far more submissive and docile than what I naturally am. I'm not always in your face. I'm not always like, I'm gonna correct you. I'm right. This, that. No, I'm not always like that. But when you present me with something that is clearly very heartless, I don't just like apologize for being in the way of your boot as you start to bash me. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it felt like. And it felt so out of character for me, but I still rolled with it. In addition to that, when we got to the Airbnb a few nights after that, uh, for some reason, I couldn't find any of the check-in instructions. I mean, I've used Airbnb quite a bit, quite a bit. When you travel nonstop, you kind of use Airbnb because I have animals. I have children who are sensitive. We don't really do well in hotels. So we use Airbnb. Why was I not able to see any of the instructions? And I tried so hard. We arrived around, I want to say 10 o'clock local time at night. No, around 9 o'clock local time at night. And it's Midtown, which is kind of like a cross between suburbia and downtown. The parking is definitely like downtown. You have to be careful where you park. You have to read the signs. Tell me why I couldn't figure out where to park for a fucking hour. To the point where I messaged the Airbnb person. I can't figure out where to park. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. She even sent me pictures as part of the instructions, and I couldn't figure it out. Now, we're about to dive into some conspiracy shit today. I'm just saying, let me slick my shit down. I want your guys' opinion. Having left California, and I had a panic attack for the first time in fucking, I don't know, even know how many years. I don't even know how many years I had a fucking panic attack, like full on, like, oh my god. I'm glad I calmed myself. I'm not holding my. I'm glad I was able to calm myself down because that shit usually once it gets started like that, based on my history, you gotta take my ass to the ER because I will keep hyperventilating until the lobster claws kick in, like this. You gotta take me to the ER because I won't stop. Okay. That has been about 20 years since that's happened. What the fuck is that about? Um, yeah, it's hard to hold a paper bag when you're like this. Literally, if you guys have never hyperventilated to that degree, the lack of oxygen will cause muscular contraction and you won't be able to use your fingers. It's like literally lobster claws. My fingers will go like this. And then I don't know if it's some sort of like self soothing. I will hug myself like this. It's some crazy ass shit. And I can't do anything for myself once I reach that point. Mind you, I'm traveling by myself. I was able to calm it down, thank God. But here's my kind of theory that's working. I talked to a friend last night who lives in California, and they had mentioned something they were experiencing, like symptoms. Oh no, I asked them, hey, have you been kind of like foggy brained and, feeling kind of weird? I think that they're using frequency in Sacramento, possibly in all major cities, to cause more docile behavior, higher amounts of confusion, mental fog, and elevate aggression. This is not new technology. This is technology that has existed early 2000s. It was already being talked about. I'm talking about things that are called ELF waves, ELF waves. These are things where I'm very, very sensitive to frequency. I experienced headaches. I never get headaches, ever, ever. I experienced headaches. I experienced so much mental fog, so much. I cannot believe for an hour, I literally was pulling in a driveway, backing up, going forward, backing up, making a U turn, making another U turn, parking on the street, going forward and turning because the house was on a corner. Going forward and turning back onto the side of the house, going back up the driveway, backing back out. What the fuck is going on, girl? Oh my god, wait, what happened? Oh, I'm so sorry, Justine. I am so sorry. If you know his location, well, I'm going to be honest. And this is going to sound really heartbreaking. In certain parts of Sacramento, they don't give a shit about the human beings who have no home. No shits. They'll let you die for real. I experienced that firsthand with my brother. He was even in the hotel room and they were telling him that they were going to refuse medical aid. Hmm. And they tried to hang up his phone. They tried to touch his phone physically and hang it up on me, his legal power of attorney. Even after I explained to them, I need to be present as his legal power of attorney agent. I need to be able to advocate for him and understand the treatment and explain to him, make sure he understands what you are going to do to him in the process. And the guy got really, really mad. The EMT got really, really angry. He goes, "Don't be, I know those legal terms." Well, then, motherfuckers, start fucking respecting my legal right and obligation to be present with a person who appointed me as their legal agent. And they didn't do any service for him. Out there you go, girl. If he has any type of addiction problems, they will treat him worse than dirt. Worse than dirt. I fucking hate Sacramento with a passion. With a passion. Yeah. Anyone that comes into any kind of medical facility, if there's any suspicion of homelessness, any suspicion of substance struggles, they'll try their best to deny you service. They will try their best to deny you service to the point where, yeah, no, it's some fucked up shit. It's some really fucked up shit. Let me not even touch on that any more than I already have. Yes. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Cerebral manipulation. There's just so much that was going on that I was personally experiencing that was not me. That's not my nature. It's not my nature. When you put me in a stressful environment, I don't get rattled. Yeah, for anyone that knows me in real life or has known me for any like long length of time, you know that when I'm presented with a major challenge, that's when I excel. That's when I become hyper fixated on a solution and implementing that solution with the highest level of efficiency ever. Um, that was gone. That went out the window. Like, what the actual fuck is going on? Another, well, technically, Sacramento is not part of the Bay Area. It's about hour and a half, 2 hours north. So technically, it's not. When they sent out an alert before I left California in December, they sent out an alert to the East Bay, and they've basically locked everything down. And Sacramento didn't lock down, so it's not technically the Bay Area. But mhm, mhm. So let's talk about this. Like Beth talks about how they don't care about any of us, which I amen. Okay. Amen. Can we get some Jesus energy up in here? I agree. I agree. I see all this stuff on social media where people, one large group is extremely happy, extremely hopeful. Um, you know, their candidate won. Another large group is not so happy. They believe their candidate was robbed. Where do I fit in? I think both groups are deluding themselves. One single man did not create a problem, he became the face of it. One single man will not solve these problems because they're not problems. They're the way society functions. Democracy. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you know? So, a lot of what's going on, I feel, is tied into that whole energy thing. So, as I was feeling this like ramping up of confusion and like low key aggression, I'm not really an aggressive person. You have to really push me in a specific way for me to become overtly externalized in my aggression. Okay. Usually I'd be like, this motherfucker, and then I'll just leave the situation. I don't, I don't want conflict. But uh, I don't know. The drivers, I've lived in California pretty much my entire life. It was only just a handful of years ago that I left. I know how to drive in California. These motherfuckers, like when they see the signal light on, I don't know if I started driving all country, non-California ish. I put my signal light on like a good American fucking citizen with a license. And when you do that, they speed up more. Like, bitch, do you need me to get Bay Area on your fucking ass? No, no, you don't. I found myself saying that in the car quite a bit. And the last straw where I was like, something is seriously fucking wrong. Heading to the airport to fly out, got lost 3 times in a matter of like 2 turns on the freeway. Got lost 3 times. And then someone almost hit my car. And then I found myself rolling down my window and screaming out the window and actually meaning it. I hope you get COVID, bitch. And I was like, oh my fucking God. What the fuck's happened to you? Yeah, I had to pull over. I had to pull over and be like, girl, this is not you. What the fuck's going on with you? Like you don't actually wish for people to be sick. You don't say that kind of shit. Like you can be really like intense in your truthfulness, but what the fuck's actually going on? And that's part of why I had a fucking panic attack. Like, wow, what's going on in this state? I'm not like that. Any other state, I'm not like that. So, going back to exploring Sacramento's different, I guess, boroughs, um, we ended up passing the Capitol building. Again, it was fenced off. I didn't know where we were. We were just kind of looking at different neighborhoods to see what we should look for in our property search. Um, Within maybe 2 or 3 blocks of the Capitol building before we actually saw it, um, I felt weird. I felt weird. And I absolutely remember thinking to myself, this place doesn't feel safe. Because my brother was talking about, yeah, see that hotel? It's a really nice hotel. That's the one I wanted you to get me a room at. You're going to be leaving me in here, leaving me in California by myself. You're not bringing me back to that fucking Skid Row place. I was just like, bro, this shit doesn't feel safe. Yo, if you know anything about Phoenix, Arizona, I willingly chose to live in Maryvale. If y'all don't know what that is, that's like the Compton of Phoenix. And I love that shit. I was getting rid of some of my photography gear, so we went to we went to a pawn shop in Maryvale. And my husband was telling him, oh yeah, we just moved in town. And the guy was like, oh, how do you like it? And I turned around, I was like, I love it. I love it. It's so peaceful. And like, I really love it. And he was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, why? And he said that it stopped maybe a month before we moved, but there was like at least 1 or 2 homicides per day. And that was an area of Arizona where people who don't live there, they lock their doors and they don't stop. That's not where you stop. You don't get out of your car. And I was like, really? It's so fucking peaceful here. So I'm not that kind of person where I need to live in a bougie place in order to feel safe. I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine in rough neighborhoods. They tend to be actually much more comfortable for me, to be honest. Um, But for me to feel like it wasn't safe, and then we drove a little bit further and everything was boarded up. All the windows were boarded up. For what? And I don't know, someone had told me like they're preparing for major conflict because I didn't realize yesterday was inauguration day. I didn't realize it at all until I went on Facebook. At which point I saw quite a bit. Saw quite a bit. Oh, that's that feeling. And again, I just want to clarify. No, I don't support Biden or Trump. I think they're both douchebags. Both. Both. Yeah. Yeah. I don't believe either really supported the people. I believe both have their own agendas. I believe both have different groups they answer to and are the spokespeople for different groups. Um, so I really don't give a shit who won. I don't. I don't. But I do give a shit about what they're doing to us as certain events are being slated. I don't know what those events are. I have some ideas that I don't want to share publicly because I would prefer these ideas to be very, very wrong, not seated in anyone else to bring them even closer to fruition. I definitely would love for none of that to happen. We have been, oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. I agree. I agree. There was information that I was reading years ago, years ago, before it was cool to be a truther. When everyone still said I was fucking crazy regarding the information that I was sharing, verifiable information at that. Yeah, there was like a shift in, I think, the lettering or the wording of United States of America, and it became a corporation, a full-on corporation. As a matter of fact, the flag that we fly right now is a wartime flag. They have a different flag for peacetime. We haven't flown that flag in so many generations. This flag that you pledge allegiance to, it's a wartime flag. We have been in perpetual state of war, I think, since the Civil War. I don't remember anymore. It's been such a long time. It's been such a long time. Yeah, Beth, maybe you should just come live with me. Yes, yes, I agree. Yes, yes, I agree. Electoral college chooses. We just get this sense that our voice matters. The most efficient way to rule a slave population, which is what we're kind of categorized. Okay, let's be more politically correct. I know the word slave becomes a trigger topic for a lot of people. I want to be respectful of that trigger. We are chattel. Chattel. We're livestock. And that's what we are. I think that's more accurate. So, yeah. The best way to rule over chattel is to give them the impression of some sort of power over the system that they have no power over. I don't know. Part of me wonders if like a monarchy would be better than democracy, because really democracy is all about manipulation. If you can manipulate the larger majority, then you can get your way while having the people believe that they had a say and this was what was selected. Hegelian dialectic. That's what this is. Hegelian dialectic. Very old form of theater of war. It's a psychological thing. You have this thing that you want to accomplish. You create a situation, wait for the people to beg for a solution, offer the solution, which was really what you wanted to begin with. And then they're like, yeah, so what do you believe in it, Emmy? Anarchy. Absolutely. But the empath in me is like, most of y'all probably wouldn't survive that. So no to anarchy. Yeah, to me, anarchy is not war. To me, anarchy is complete freedom and self-governing. I can grow my own food. I can barter. I have the right to defend my property. You know, like You're not going to come here, have your fucking way all vigilante style, because you will catch a fucking consequence from me. This is my little parcel. Play your shit somewhere else. But that doesn't work for everyone, because not everyone can maintain themselves. And that's the hugest problem of the society we exist within, is that we have been conditioned to become so reliant on government aid and things like that. And I'm not trying to bash people who are on government aid. I've been on government aid at some point. Um, but that's the thing, it creates a dependency with a lack of teaching you how to become independent, because they don't want you to be independent. Who are they? You tell me. Am I talking about a specific political party? Am I talking about red? Am I talking about blue? Am I talking about purple? The hidden monarch that rules it all. I find it interesting. We've divided ourselves into blue and to red. And really, there's this thing that draws from both, and it's a purple. When you combine red and blue together, it becomes purple. And what has purple always been, indicator of? Royalty. There's a hidden royalty behind the two factions. They need us to continue fighting each other so we don't turn and face the actual, yeah. Love the land. I love this. I love, oh, girlfriend. We're talking about, it's more than the Vatican though, because there's something the Vatican answers to. I don't really want to get into it though. Michael's not allowed to talk about that. Why? You started me down this rabbit hole. Why can't we talk? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. She's been reading straw man, straw man stuff. Yeah, no, you're not insane. That's the thing. That's another psychological tool to make those who have a level of awareness that's elevated appear as though they're insane. A conspiracy is only a conspiracy until the majority accepts it as the truth that it is. That's that. That's that. In fact, I did come across information years ago where it was actually the CIA they coined the term conspiracy theorists to create enough distorted perception of those who were presenting truth. What happens to those of us who speak too much truth? Michael says, stop. You wouldn't let them do shit to me, please. You wouldn't let them do shit to me. Okay. But he says, stop. Um, Depends. What's your community? What's your community? That's what it all depends on. If you think your community